Gentleman is recognized for 4 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the gentleman for yielding, and I rise in support of House Resolution 4887, which would try to fix a significant flaw in the Democratic health care reform bill by including the Department of Defense's TRICARE program in what is considered minimum essential coverage for the purposes of the individual mandate in the health care bill. Mr. Speaker, while I applaud Chairman Skelton for taking this step, I'm deeply concerned and aware that it does not go far enough to protect TRICARE from the ravages of Obamacare. The simple truth is that the Senate health care bill still leaves TRICARE, the world-class health care program that takes care of 9.2 million of our men and women in uniform and their families, and retirees and their families, open to the whim of bureaucrats outside of the Department of Defense, who may change the program as they see fit. Is this what we want for the men and women who lay their lives on the line every day to protect this great nation? Last summer, the White House made 2 promises to America's armed forces and their families: that the health reform legislation that's being considered would enable those who are covered by TRICARE to meet the shared responsibility requirement for individuals to have insurance, thereby exempting such members of the armed services and their families from being assessed penalties. This is the explicit promise that the Senate health care bill fails to meet. The chairman's resolution is an attempt to meet that commitment, but what it definitely does is point out the flaws in the Senate bill, the Senate health care bill. The second promise the President made is that the Secretary of Defense would continue to maintain sole authority over TRICARE. Chairman Skelton's language today does not address this promise. That is why Mr. Booyer, the ranking member on the Veterans Affairs Committee, and I filed and will offer later today language at the Rules Committee that would meet both of these promises. We've been hearing since last summer many promises that this problem would be fixed. Mr. Booyer and I even offered similar amendments to the House version of the bill passed last fall. Our attempts were rebuffed, and the military service organizations were given assurances by the Democratic leadership that TRICARE would be protected in a conference report that never came. Now we see this legislation that appeared in the dark of night. We've been told that there's no cost associated with the language. We cannot confirm that. History is rife with examples of House legislation that does not survive in the Senate. In other words, there's no guarantee that what the President finally signs will protect Medicare. Mr. Speaker, I was told by a veteran that one of the problems we had in the Vietnam War was pilots became so fixated on the target that they ultimately crashed into the target. That is what I see happening with this health care bill that the Democratic leadership and the President are pushing. They're so fixated on getting something passed that they're making so many mistakes that we're not going to be able to fix them all. I will support my chairman's efforts today, but I will continue to work toward a comprehensive fix. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.